Eddie Lato was the underboss, second in command of the Patriarca crime family. His death comes after a long battle with cancer and closes a chapter in the history of the New England mob. In 2011, then mob capo Eddie Lato went to Massachusetts to visit another high-ranking member of the New England crime family. Lato was keenly aware he was under constant scrutiny by federal and state investigators, and that day was no different. He later complained to a fellow mobster who was wearing a wire for the FBI about the pitfalls of being a made member of La Cosa Nostra, telling him, "Every time I leave, there's someone looking at me. There's a guy on the corner in a car every expletive time." Later that year, Lato, seen here in exclusive Target 12 video, was swept up in a major FBI crackdown into organized crime with those recordings as evidence. The case eventually ensnared 9 New England mobsters and associates, including the former boss, Luigi Baby Shack Spinacchio. Lato pleaded guilty to charges that he shook down Rhode Island strip clubs for protection money and received the longest prison term of all the defendants, 9 years behind bars. The judge cited Lato's lengthy criminal history when handing down the sentence. Over 4 decades as a made member of the crime family, Lato was arrested nearly 24 times, serving multiple prison terms. But he was able to escape one major prosecution for the 1992 gangland slaying of ruthless mob enforcer Kevin Hanrahan. He was gunned down walking out of a Federal Hill restaurant. Decades later, mob capo Robert Bobby DeLuca pleaded no contest on a charge of conspiring to plan the hit and was prepared to testify that Lato took part in the murder. But charges were never brought, likely because DeLuca, who later denounced the mob, was an unreliable witness with considerable legal baggage. Lato was an old-school mafioso whose refusal to cooperate with investigators repeatedly got him locked up. The Johnston resident died after a cancer diagnosis. On multiple occasions, I questioned Lato as he left the courthouse. He was always cordial, but as a made member of the mob, he never told me anything of consequence. With the Target 12 investigators, Tim White, 12 News.